Basically, real estate, credit, taxes, anything regarding business formation and running businesses, helping answering those questions. For those of you that don't really know who I am, I'm Baskal Korkis. Finance degree, minor in mathematics, I have a second degree in accounting, and an economics and business. I've worked for Bank of America, Citigroup, Coopers, for a large oil company, as accountant, and managers for investment companies, for property management companies, insurance agencies, accounting firms, working with a mortgage company. So I'm pretty well versed in multiple areas of finance and business transformation. What's up, buddies? What's up, guys? And what's up with me? And so basically, any questions you guys have, I know we get a lot of good questions from people watching. Any questions you have, I want them to ask. I'm more than happy to help. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry, Shad. Again, for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Baskal Korkis. A little bit of my background. I went to college. I got a finance degree, minor in mathematics. I got a second degree in accounting, minor in economics and international business. I worked for Bank of America doing banking, Citigroup doing anti-money laundering. I worked for PricewaterhouseCoopers. I did corporate taxes, like Home Depot's taxes. I worked for a large oil company, distributorship. I did all of their taxes and bookkeeping. I was their head accountant. I owned my own insurance, real estate investment company, property management company. We're opening up an Airbnb, an actual Airbnb, not like a single use condo, but an actual apartment complex that was originally an Airbnb in 1970, and we're bringing it back to that functionality. We have insurance. I own insurance agencies. I own an accounting firm. Opening up a mortgage company. I have a good number of employees that work for me. So yeah, a lot of clients that pay me over $200 an hour for my time, and I'm giving it free for you guys every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So bring any of your taxes, business, real estate, credit questions. I'll be able to answer them. So I gave you my spiel. Feel free to ask any question, guys. What's up, Ariel? How you doing, Chad? Ostro, how are you doing? Oops. All right. So I was actually someone requested to go live. Yeah, if you guys want to go live, you're welcome to go live with me. Ask the questions. Ask the questions live, and it's probably going to be easier to ask your questions. Hey, what's up, Marble Beef? So I'm going to tell you one thing while we're getting started. Something I was telling Joey, my assistant, and we're having lunch, and we're talking about like eating and whatever. I said, basically what I said is, if you put garbage into your body is, like, who you are is not your body, right? So you should never feel like a type of way about yourself just because of how you look. And I know it's really tough because, we always judge ourselves by how we look, but we shouldn't, because our body is not who we are. Who we are is inside, our soul, right? And our body is just the machine our soul's using, right? It's the form that we're taking on at this point in time. So if you put in bad into your body, this machine that you're functioning is going to perform bad. If you watch and listen to garbage, your body is going to perform bad. So, because there's a lot of people that they're eating bad and they're getting really sick, and we're talking about that, and I was like, look, you can see directly that what they're eating is causing them to be sick, and when they eat well, they are fine, so they don't get as sick. So I have the same issue, that I go through the same problems like anybody else, and I notice I'm eating bad, I need to fix that. So with anything, Put in good, you get good out. So today we're going to go through a lot of good information regarding real estate investing and some tips, and you're going to get a lot of good out. So if anybody wants to go live, just basically shoot a request and you can go live. Please take it this time also to tag your friends and have them join the live event. The more people that's in your circle that's learning, the stronger your circle gets and the more you all grow together, right? You are an average of the 5 people around yourself that you keep around. Doesn't mean you need to change your 5, right? Sometimes you can grow your 5. We can all grow together, right? Your entourage can grow. So you don't have to change your 5, but you need for them all to grow and understand together. So definitely tag your friends now, and we can get this thing going. I'm going to check to see what questions I have. And again, anyone who wants to go live, feel free to ask. Submit. All right. Let me see. I think Chad had a question here. So, how did you get the discount paint today? What's the secret? All right, Chad. You waited long enough, so I'll give you the secret. So, 1, multiple times a year, the paint companies have sales. All right? They give $5 off per gallon and $40 off every 5 gallon. And obviously, when you buy a 5-gallon bucket, it's the price of 4 gallons. So you basically get a 1 gallon for free. So I always buy a 5-gallon bucket, and I try to keep the same colors, and I keep this extra. So 1, that's a way to save money. You saved on 1. And I always buy Bear Premium Marquee, which is $200 for 5 gallons, and it's like $50 per gallon. And then you get $40 off right there with a mail-in rebate. On top of that, by having a Pro Rewards number, and your Pro Rewards number is your cell phone number, right? You type in that number, and you will get a discount for ordering paint. And they keep track of how much volume you get. Now, say you're new, and you're like, well, I haven't bought that much paint this year or last year or whatever. You can actually ask to talk to the Bear rep at Home Depot, or they'll give you the phone number for the Bear rep for that specific Home Depot, and that rep will actually will upgrade you to the higher level of discounts just by asking. So I get 20% off. I do a lot of volume, but they've always bumped me up to 20% off. So imagine $220 5-gallon paint, which is really high quality, and it's going to last you for your rentals. It's going to be able to take, a beating, and you're able to clean it and all that good stuff. $220, you get 20% off. That's $44. And then they have the sale right now, $40 off of a 5-gallon. So that's $84 off a $220 5-gallon bucket. That's a huge amount of money. I bought 9, right? That's over $720 savings on paint. So all those little things add up. And it's really like shocking how much, like this project alone, I probably saved, like with all the discounts I applied and all the negotiations I did, minimum $50,000 that I saved. And that's a huge chunk of my profit that I'm going to make on the deal. And to be honest, I'm not planning to sell it because it's going to be a cash cow, but it's a lot less money. That's like, instead of spending $250 on this remodel, I'm only going to spend like $200. So you can imagine, every penny you save is like making money. And it's better than making money, because if you make money, you have to pay taxes on that. If you save money, there's no tax on that. So next point, Chad had a question for me in the DMs, and he was like talking about Home Depot and savings. Another trick, you need to build a relationship with a pro desk, because a pro desk, you constantly will meet them. They'll actually throw you extra discounts. They'll literally just throw up extra discounts, because if you keep on seeing them, they'll just keep throwing extra discounts for you here or there. And 10% here, 10% there, it's a lot. Like I bought like $50,000 worth of stuff this last few months, and I got at least an extra 10% on stuff. So that's like $5,000. Now, another thing that the Pro Rewards group will do, the Pro Desk will do, is they have a back room, and the back room is called the bid room. The bid room means at least $1,500 worth of stuff you're buying in that 1 week period of time. Now, it doesn't mean you have to pick it up at that time, right? You can pick it up over a period of time. But you should just try to buy as much as you can in one shot. So when I go in, I try to buy 10,000, 20,000, 30, whatever it is, right? So I could show a lot of volume to the back room. So the back room will give you like volume discounting. And again, the minimum requirement is $1,500. So if you know you're going to buy a water heater, you're going to buy this, you're going to buy that, you're going to buy paint, whatever, try to throw it all in there. FYI, don't send your paint to the bid room. The Bear rep is going to give you a better discount. If you get a bid room discount, you cannot get the Bear discount. So don't send your paint to the bid room. To my point though, you can double dip. I've been able to double dip on the Bear discount and the mail-in rebate discount to get the $80+ discount per 5-gallon bucket. But back to the bid room, $1,500 minimum, you submit it, they're gonna throw in extra discounts your way. And again, when you make buddies with the people at the pro desk, they'll actually deliver the stuff for free. So if I need paint, like especially paint, I could order one 5-gallon bucket and say, I need this, please deliver it. They'll send it next day for free. Like it can't beat that, right? So I'll just make a call, hey, we need more paint. I'll make a call. I'll say, I need another one of these paints. Here's my credit card, and send it. And I'll talk to my Bear rep, or not my Bear rep. I'll talk to my pro desk person that I keep talking to, and she'll take care of it for me. She'll order it, and she'll have it shipped out to the project, so we can keep moving. So that's a big thing, is saving your time, right? Because you're like, how do you do so many deals, Baskal? Because I try to get out of the way. Eventually, in the beginning, you are making it happen. After you get things going, believe it or not, you're in the way of keeping bigger things from happening. So sometimes you just got to get out of the way and let other people do their job. And sometimes a lot of times you're afraid, like it's going to cost you more money. It really doesn't cost you more money. They're actually more discounts, or they'll do it for free because as a thank you for your business and your loyalty to them. And even Home Depot, they don't make money off of how much you buy from there, but they do get recognized for how much you buy. So they want you to buy from that store. So if you keep buying from one store, even though your project's maybe a little bit 5 minutes out the way and you can go to a different Home Depot, keep going to the same one because they like that. At the same time, your Pro Rewards number shows how much volume you do, so they can see, oh wow, this guy buys a lot. So always put in your Pro Rewards number, even though you don't get any discounts. I always do, even though I know I'm not going to get a discount on that item I just bought, but I want them to see this guy buys volume, so they can be a little bit more helpful to me, right? What we're all going to notice is if we're young, we might not always get as much respect compared to what we know. But at the end of the day, no one is going to care if you're driving a Lambo. And no one's going to care if you have a big Pro Rewards number with how much stuff you're buying. They're going to be like, wow, he buys a lot, I'm going to give him some more of my time. I don't care how young he is. So, great question, Chad. Ask for Pro Rewards. Ask to send stuff to the bid room. Talk to your Bear rep at your Home Depot, and you're going to save the guys a lot of money. Saved money is made money. All Marble Beef. Thanks, buddy. All right, so this is a good point. All Marble Beef just said, left another comment, and his comment was, I got to go because football is on. So, I got a really important question, because last week we had 20 plus people on the live event, and today we're about 8, 10. Do you guys think I should change it from Thursday 9 p.m. Eastern time to maybe a Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time? Since my assistant said the same thing. He said a lot of people are going to be watching football, and they're going to want to watch football. So this might it's better not to conflict. Let me know. Keith says, what rate of return on a rental should one look to achieve? All right. So what rate of return I buy at and what rate of return I'm trying to achieve is two different things. So when I buy a property, I don't look at rate of return. I used to. When I was younger, I used to, because that meant everything. Cap rate, rate of return meant everything. Now, it doesn't mean as much to me because I don't care about the rent as much. What I learned is this. Rent, you make $100, $200, $300, $500 a month. But your lion's share of the money you make, the millions I've made, has not been from rent. It's been appreciation of the property. So I look for a key location that is gonna go up in value. I look at possible transition of the land use to a better use to make more money. And I look for upgrading of the property to take it from what the current rent is. Let's just say like a lot of properties I'm finding now are like $800 a month rent for a 2-bedroom. And I can convert it to like $1,200 rent. And that 400, even though I am putting some properties to upgrade the property, that extra 400 is like basically all profit. And if it's a 4-unit, which I really look at least trying to get 4-unit properties and up, that's an additional $1,600 a month in profit on top of the profit the other owner was making. So I'm making, $2,400 a month profit. The cap rate that you're going to make it is what's so important. So I don't look at initial rate of return. I look at what is my cash on cash return going to be after I buy and reno, and what is going to be. Let's just say I buy the property for $200,000. I'm putting down, say, $40,000. In reality, let's just say I'm buying it for $400,000 because if I'm buying a 4-unit building, it's going to cost $400,000 in my area. I'm going to put down 20%. Put down $80,000, and it's going to cost me another $40,000 to upgrade the property. So my cash investment in this deal is $120,000. And I'm going for bigger deals now, guys. You guys don't need to go for bigger deals, but I'm going for slightly bigger deals. And to be honest with you, this is on the smaller side of the deals that I do. That's like the minimum I'll do. I really like to buy 10-unit plus buildings. But again, when I started out with very, very small stuff, right? My first deal was a $140,000 property. So you only had $30,000 to put down. My second deal was a $160,000 property. I only put down $8,000. So you don't have to go with these big deals. But I'm just going to give you an example of what I'm doing right now. My point is this. You buy it. I'll give you my second property I ever bought. I bought it for $160,000, and you only had to put down 8%, which is 3.5% down payment, plus closing costs. So it cost me about like $8,000 to buy the property. Plus I put in another, I'm going to say $10,000, so I'm $18,000 total. But I took the rents from $800 a month to $1,000 a month for each unit. So that $10,000 extra I spent brought me an extra $400 a month, which is $5,000 a year almost, right? $4,800, and it cost me $10,000. It's a 50% return on your money. So you can see I don't really care about the initial cap rate. I care about, or initial rate of return, I care about what can I do with the property to make it best use and increase the money. Because a lot of the deals now you're going to find are kind of suck. Like there's not deals where you could buy and you're like, oh, I'm making huge rate of returns. But there is a decent amount of deals where you could find them, fix them, do some upgrades, some nice, make it cute, and then get an extra few $100 a month in rent. And that's going to be your higher rate of return. At that point, you could wait 6 months to a year, get the property reappraised because it looks prettier, it brings in higher rate, and it's going to be worth more. And then, since you're probably living in one side, you can go back and get a second loan and get 100% financing on the second loan. So you could get back whatever your down payment was, plus probably whatever you spent on upgrading the property, and maybe even a little extra back. So now you have no money in the deal, you're cash flowing, you're making money, and now you have enough money for your next deal. So that is the way the game is played when you are a small player, right? It's played a little bit different after you have a few deals under your belt, when you have a little bit more money under your belt, because you can do it in a different way where you can actually maximize your returns. You can maximize returns even better. So this is how I would basically do it on a small scale. If I was going to redo it. Great question, Keith. Hello, Summit. All right. What's up, guys? So yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. You can go live and ask the questions directly. Kimik has a question. How are you? I'm doing good, thank you. How are you? I have a question. Can I do it, please? Yes, you are welcome to ask your question. Just feel free to drop your questions in the DM. Dave has a question. He says, how do you start investing in real estate? I just bought a condo last year, but want to invest in rental property. So investing in rental property is not that hard. Normally, I would say I don't like buying condos because the most hurdles for people is getting the loan and approved and finished. That's most people's hurdles, is getting another deal and having the bank qualify them to get loans. Number one issue I see, okay? So that's why I avoid going for condos. I avoid going for houses because you only have one unit. And now you have to try to get another loan for more units. It's going to be hard, right? And normally once you get one deal and you're a beginner, you can get lucky and be able to do another deal within like say a year. But normally it takes you another 2 years before you get buy your next deal, right? If you do it super, super conservatively. So there is more aggressive ways to do things, but that's a whole nother story. To answer your question, I prefer buying a 4 unit so you can get more out of it. Now, regarding your condo last year, what would I do if I was you? I don't know how much money you have. I don't know your credit score. I don't know what you do as a living. I don't know how much you bring in from your monthly income. I don't know any of those answers. So it's going to be very hard to directly answer your question. But I bought the property and you put the down payment, you need more cash. I would go apply for a line of credit to pull back all the cash I invested into that property. Now you take the cash you have in the bank plus the cash you took back out from your line of credit. The line of credit payment should be very small because you should go for one that's interest only. You then take those funds and you can use those funds to put as a down payment towards your next property. That property should already be cash flowing. That property should already be cash flowing, so it should be easy for you to go into your next deal because the bank is going to use the money you're getting from that property's current income and add it to your income to help justify and qualify you to be able to afford the new loan on that new rental property. Personally, I would not go for a condo. I'd go for a duplex, triplex, or quadplex because if you lose one tenant in a quadplex, you still have 3 people paying your bill. If you lose one tenant out of a 1-unit condo, you have no one paying your bill. So remember that in the big picture of things, it's way more conservative. Even though you're getting, say, 4 times the loan or 3 times the loan, that's not going to matter because it's actually more conservative. That is from my experience and from many other people's experience. Great question, Dave. All right, Kevin has a question. Just buy a darn paint and paint your house and then sleep. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'd rather not. I'd rather just pay someone to do it. I want to be out there looking for more deals. All right, Chad. I appreciate. I have another question also. I saw your YouTube videos. The tile you use in all of your bathrooms is very nice. It is a gray and white tile. Where do you get it from and what is it called? So I use the gray and white tile on the floor. I'm guessing that one because I don't use a gray and white one on the walls. But the gray and white tile on the floor in the bathrooms is like a marble looking tile. And I actually get it from Home Depot. You can also get it from Floor & Decor. But the one I get at Home Depot is actually cheaper than Floor & Decor. It's about $1.20 a square foot, and it's a 12-inch by 24-inch, so it's 2 square feet per tile. So it's like $2.50 a piece, super cheap. It is a porcelain tile. You guys don't want to go with the ceramic tile. You do want to go with the porcelain tile. It is very durable. Ceramic breaks too easy. In ceramic, the surface wears down a lot easier, so dirt sticks to it easier. Where in porcelain, it is resistant to dirt. It is a lot stronger. It adheres better. All around better quality. It is worth to spend the money. Because think about this. This is what I learned. I used to talk to people, and frankly, I used to use my dad. He would be like, buy the cheap one. And I stopped, and I was like, okay, the cheap tile is 60 cents. The expensive tile or the better quality tile is $1.20. That's only 60 cents more per square foot. Over 1,000 square feet, it's $600. This tile is going to be here for at least 15 years. I don't want to be, you're not willing to spend $600 more for 15 years of quality? I'd rather spend $600 for 15 years of quality. Part 2, the labor I'm paying the guy to put the tile down is more than is most of the cost. So if you put in bad stuff, the money you're going to spend for someone to fix it and do it again is way more than the product cost. So it's always better to buy high quality products. Don't go cheap on it, because you're going to end up paying for it again. You pay for quality products and they're going to be paying you. Now, Home Depot, it is like a marble tile. There's no real specific name. It's like a marble looking tile, but it's actually porcelain, and it's also slip resistant, so it's very good for the bathrooms, because it's obviously smart. You don't want people slipping in your bathrooms. Great question, Chad. And good thing you're watching the videos. One really important thing is people always tell me and ask me these super, super basic questions. And first, I can tell right away, you haven't watched any of the videos. Watch all the videos. I've been studying real estate since I was 14 years old. I didn't buy my first until I was 19, because that's how long it took me to qualify and get it going. You need to watch the videos. Not for me. Like, trust me, I'm not making anything off of this. You can obviously tell I don't make anything off this. But it's for you. Because if you can save yourself one mistake, I promise you thousands of dollars. So you have to watch the videos so you can learn from the mistakes I made. So you don't remake them, so you can save money. And if you save money, that means you made money. So watch the videos, learn. Because there's a lot of great questions, a lot of great nuggets. And then some of our videos on YouTube, they're funny, they have a lot of skits in them. But even in our skits, we're teaching something, right? So it's all about you guys learning, developing yourselves more as real estate investors, and making sure that you're getting those deals and you keep moving forward, right? I don't want you to be moving backwards and make a mistake and cost yourself too much money. So again, great question. Kevin says, I bet it's marble style. You're right, Kevin. It is the marble style. It is the marble style. All right, Keith has a question. What annual rate of return should we look on average on a rental? So I usually go for, again, this is me and this is my market. Every market is different, but my market is, I go for a minimum of cash on cash return year one of 15%, right? And that's at completion of my renovation period, right? So that means everything is booked up and rented, right? Usually by year 3 to 5, I'm at 25% cash on cash return, if not better. So that's me with my market and how I do things. And plus I know how to do things, and I know how to get discounts, and I know how to negotiate deals, and I give my people volume work so I get better pricing. So you guys can do that. And again, think about this. I'm pulling, again, minimum I said 15, but in reality I'm pulling 20, right? 20% dividend on the money I put in the deal. I put in $200K, I make $40K dividend, right? If we're talking about like a stock. And that doesn't count my appreciation. So normally when I make those upgrades, I increase property value like 30% minimum. So $200,000 deal, I'm increasing it $60,000. This deal right now, the 9 unit I have in Safety Harbor, I bought it for $950. I keep on adding more and more and more because I'm going to make it from a regular apartment to an Airbnb. So obviously when you make that change, it costs a lot more. I'm putting in probably about total cash investment between my down payment and my reno was about $300,000. I'm going to be bringing in, I'm going to say $7K on an annual rental basis, not Airbnb. So $7K, $7,000 a month, that's $84,000 a year. If I only invested a total amount of $250, that right there, what is that? About 24% return, right? That is my dividend, my percentage. The property appreciation, minimum appreciation to 1.6 million. So I'm in it for 1.1, 1.15. It's worth 1.6 minimum. I'm going to be doing a hybrid model of long-term tenants, Airbnb. I'm looking to net to my pocket minimum $15,000 a month. That's $180,000 a year on my total $300,000 investment as an Airbnb, because it's additional money to do the conversions. What is that? That's about 60% return, like dividend, 60% dividend on my investment, annual. And that's at that rate, if I sell it, it's probably worth like $2 million. If I full Airbnb, I'll be netting probably $25,000 a month to my pocket. Obviously, I put in 300. It's almost 100% return, annualized. And I probably can sell it for $2.5 to $4 million, depending on who wants to buy it. So, again, start small. It took me a long time to get to this level and to be able to do this comfortably. Like I can comfortably do this project and not sweat it. Start small. Go for a duplex. Go for a quadplex. Live in one side. Rent out the other 3. You're going to have it's going to be very easy for you to do it. And honestly, I enjoyed teaching you guys and talking about real estate and talking about business, because I like buying businesses and upgrading businesses as well. And cars as well. I like cars. As more than watching sports, to be honest with you, right? So learn to appreciate and enjoy this. But set yourself up. Don't go so aggressive that you're like, oh, you're hating your life if it doesn't go right. Set yourself up so it's a comfortable pressure, right? Pressure, yes. Do put pressure on yourself. You need to grow. You need pressure to grow. But don't do it so much that it's actually going to kill you. So do pressure that's going to make you grow from it. And then when you're done, you can be like, I succeeded. I feel good. I feel confident. I made it. I made it happen. I had a tough issue with the tenant, but I got past it. You know, I evicted them. I got a new person in there. I got someone that values my property. So keep pushing, keep striving, guys. Great question, Keith. All right. What's up, guys? Again, anyone who feels free to want to jump in and go live and ask a question live, you're welcome to. So Dave is saying Tuesday. Tuesday might be an option. Tuesday might be so they were talking about changing the live event from Thursday at 9 p.m. to Tuesday at 9 p.m. since a lot of people are going to watch football on Thursday at 9 p.m. Tuesday might be an option. To be honest, they're asking me to teach Bible study Tuesday at 9 p.m. So I might not be available that day, but that's on there. If we get enough people that ask for it, I might be able to get Bible study changed to Wednesday at 9 p.m. and do this at Tuesday at 9 p.m. But just let me know what you guys want, and we'll figure something out with the schedule. So Jesus says, money is more important than football. You know, that is a weighted question, weighted comment. I'm going to say this. Your happiness is very important. Doing business makes me happy. Obviously, I'm not getting paid for this right now, and I enjoy it. I would ask, like people talk about get a mentor. Let me give you a secret. If you find someone that is impressive and successful, and you tell them, that's so impressive what you've done, and how did you do this, and how did you do that? They will tell you everything. Let me just tell you something. During that moment in time, you got a mentor, right? Your mentor does not have to be the same person for your whole life. It would be good, because they can tell you about they can call you on your shit, because they know you, but if you talk to many different business people and many different real estate investors, and they will each build upon teaching you something. Those are mentors, right? You don't have to be like, oh, I didn't get 5 hours. No mentor that is good will ever give you 5 hours in a 5-month period, right? You maybe will get an hour a month, but it's unlikely. You'll get like 10, 15 minutes. But those 10, 15 minutes are solid nuggets, solid facts, right? I mean, you read a whole book, you learn one thing from a book, you won, you're a winner. So don't worry about some people worry about getting hours with a mentor. It doesn't happen. It's not like that, right? It doesn't work like that way. And then again, happiness is more important. Again, don't blow money, right? Don't be wasteful and whatever, right? But some happiness, some football is all good. All right, what's up, guys? I can't pronounce some people's names. I apologize, ahead of time. All right, got another question from Jesus. Question: how did you get started in the business? So, when I was 14, 15, I saw my uncle. This idea was like, blew my mind. Are you ready for this idea? You could buy a property. He bought a condo. And he rented it someone. Someone paid him to borrow it. I was like, blew my mind, okay? You get to buy something, you get to keep it, and someone will pay you to borrow it. That was amazing to me. And my question was, how do you afford to buy this condo? Because that's a lot of money to pay cash for. It's going to take a long time. And he's like, well, you go to the bank, and the bank will give you 80% of the money, and you just put down 20%. And that was a huge, light bulb that everything, my whole world changed. The idea that the bank, in my mind, I call it partnering with you. They're giving you a loan. You're indebted to them. But in my mind, you are a partner. They're going to put up 80% of the money. You put up 20% of the money. You keep all the appreciation. They give you usually, if you're smart, you get a small payment. And that payment is way less than this other person, the tenant, is going to give you. So I buy it. This guy gives me most of the money. I then rent it out to this person. This person gives me money, and then I keep the difference. It's like retail arbitrage 24 hours a day, nonstop. So at that point, I was like, I'm in. So then at 19, I finally was able to do it because I kept studying. I took deals. I chopped the deals up. How much would the loan be? How much would the rent be? How much would the taxes be? The insurance be? How much would the mortgage be? How much would maintenance be? How much would vacancies be? I ran the numbers again and again and again from 14 to 19 until I could finally get a deal. And at that point, I was like, it's on. I'm going to buy as many deals as possible because my mind was this. Back then, I said, if I could just make $100 on the rent in between what my total expenses are and what the rent is, I'm fine. I'll get up to 20 units. I'll bring in $2,000 a month, and I'm good with $2,000 a month. I also have a job, and I'll just keep the properties. The tenants are going to pay down the mortgage. The property's going to appreciate in value, and I'm going to be good over time. And the plan worked very well, right? So that's how conservative I did it. I only wanted $100. Wasn't greedy. Now I'm doing a lot better. I got a lot more properties and I'm making like $500-600 per unit. So it's good. And these are not Airbnb income, right? Like most, because it's really easy. Doing annual rentals is very easy. You rent it out once a year, where Airbnb, you can rent it out once a week. So it's a lot more work. But if you do Airbnb, it could be a lot more money if you have the right area. I do want to warn you about this though. A lot of people are talking about Airbnb as if it's like some type of godsend and the world changed. Do not think anything can be an Airbnb. You must be very specific on where you are, and you must be very specific how you set the property up for Airbnb. And according to everything that I've found online, optimal rental rate for an Airbnb is 50% rental. So occupancy rate of 50%, that means half of the year. So when you run the numbers and you see what the market rate is for this property on Airbnb, and you multiply it out for the year, and you say, well, I'm only going to be rented half of the year, so you only get half that money that you're going to get from full occupancy. Then you take out all your expenses, electric and internet and furnishing and everything else. You're going to see at the end of the day, you might not even make that much money compared to an annual rental because your expenses are so high. So it doesn't work everywhere, right? I have like 30 properties right now. Not all of them work that way. The nice thing that in my favor is most of mine would work well as an Airbnb because when I was younger, I bought in areas that I knew had such huge upside potential, and I chose to make less money in the profit of the rent so I could choose more money in the upside of the appreciation, which is where you're going to make the lion's share of your profit. Your profit will come from appreciation of the properties, from the guarantee that the government's going to spend more money, which is going to cause your properties to inflate in value. Great question, Dave. Kevin has a question. Sai, I'm tired with this. All right, tired of what? Chris says, can I find you anywhere else besides IG? Yes, you can find me on YouTube, and we're going to be coming up with a podcast as well. So YouTube, check us out because there's a lot more content that you don't find on IG on YouTube. And all of these videos are recorded so you can find them again on IG as well. I mean on YouTube as well for if you want to see prior episodes. Great question. Hello, Panika. Nielsen said, how long do you wait before you get a second loan? To be honest with you, Nielsen, literally the minute that will give me more money, I will take it, right? As long as it's a good rate. So normally the requirement of waiting is 6 months to a year. If you're going to do a cash out refi, normal wait period is, I think seasoning now is 1 year. It's called seasoning. You have to own it for 1 year. So a second loan, because this is the question, right? Second loan is you have a first loan when you bought it, and then you can get a second loan. So then you would have 2 mortgage payments or 2 loan payments, and that's your second loan. So your first loan, let's just say, is $200,000 property. You bought it for $200,000. You put down 20%, so $40,000. You own $160,000 on this property. You've then spent some money. You racked up a little bit of expenses on your credit card. You've painted the place. You put a new tile. You freshened it up. Put a new shrubbery and so on. Made it pretty. You get it reappraised. Now it's worth $250,000. Well, the bank's willing to say, if it's your primary residence, a lot of banks will give you up to 100% loan to value. Some states don't allow more than 90% loan to value. Well, the new 90% loan to value on a $250,000 property is $225,000. So that means since you only owe $160,000, they're going to give you back your $40,000 plus your $25,000. So they're going to give you $65,000. That $65,000 is now in your bank account. You are paying interest on that money, but normally the interest rate is very low, 4 or 5% interest. You're only paying interest only. Maybe it's 6% interest. You're paying interest only. It's not a lot of money. If you use the money to reinvest in something that's going to earn you more money, and if you're looking for a minimum of cash on cash return of 15% plus, you're borrowing at 6%, you're getting 15%, you're making that extra 9% profit. It's an easy yes in my book. So immediately once I'm able to get that, I get it. That is how the process of a second loan works, right? I'll give you another example. The other thing is called a cash out refi. Normally for them to be open to letting you access that additional money, you must usually hold the property for at least 1 year. Scenario 2, you're doing a cash out refi. So you bought the property for $200,000, you put down 20%, you owe $160,000, you did the upgrades. After a year, it's worth $250,000 because you upgraded it, you increased the rents. A cash out refi will allow you to refinance the whole property, usually up to 80%, 85% loan to value. You then pay off the old $160,000 loan, and they give you a brand new loan at $200,000, and you get to keep the $40,000. That's another option. So some people might ask, well, why would you go with option 2 with a cash out refi instead of going with option 1 because you get more money with on option 1? Well, with option 1, the second loan is interest only. And it is not fixed interest rate. It fluctuates with market interest rate. So if you feel market interest rates are going to go up, you're going to not want to keep yourself and have what's called interest rate risk. You want to get rid of your interest rate risk by locking in the interest rate. So if you don't lock it in, you're exposing yourself to possibly the interest rate going from 6% to 12%, which is not really happened in the last 12 years, 15 years, but it could happen. So that's why you would go with the other option of locking it in. And at that point, you can, even with the option 2, you can still go get a second loan and get access to the other 10%. So you can see where I'm going with this. Great question, Nielsen. Keith has another question. So would you recommend paying cash or financing? If you watch one of my videos on IG, you'll see I go through the example of buying a house cash for $200,000, and if you rented it out and everything you're going to make, and the bottom line what you're going to make. Or I give another option of buying 5 houses, and they're each $200,000, but you're putting on 20% on each deal. Okay? Use both scenarios. You're spending $200,000, but this scenario you got 5 buildings. This scenario you got 1 building. Even when you consider the loans for $800,000 in debt, you're making way more money here after paying off all your expenses, you're making more money to your pocket by getting financing, because interest rates are stupid low. You're getting free money, and I'll explain to you what I mean by free money in a minute. Now, what did I mention earlier today? Money you make is not really the rent. You're like, well, I'm going to keep more money from the rent here. Well, if you got 5 buildings, you're going to make even more rent. But real point is this, is the appreciation on this property, this 200,000 property, is going to be like maybe 7% a year. But you have $1 million worth of properties and you put $200,000 down, you're getting 7% appreciation on $1 million. So you're making $70,000 a year in appreciation compared to $14,000 a year in appreciation here. You can see this side here is going to give you more appreciation. In 5 years, you have $350,000 in appreciation. In 5 years, you have what? You have 70? I'd rather go here. Less risk. Got 5 people paying me rent. 1 doesn't pay, still got 4. 2 don't pay, still got 3. And at 3, I'm still breaking even. It's not a lot of risk, in my opinion. Good question, Keith. Chad says, how do you find most of your flips? I literally look at MLS. I see anything that's reasonably priced. I look at signs. I look online. I look at Craigslist. I look everywhere. I have a whole bunch of people that are like wholesalers and flippers. They have my email, so they'll shoot me deals. And I'll be honest with you, 1 out of 1,000, 5,000 is good. Very hard to find a deal now. And that's everywhere. And that's me too, right? And I can make margins on tighter deals than you guys probably could, because I can get more buying power. And still, it's hard for me to find a deal. So don't be hard on yourself the fact that you haven't found a deal yet. That's why I love the way I do real estate, where you can do it on the side. It could be your side hustle, right? So you don't have to worry about finding a deal fast. It's better to find a good deal. Don't rush it. My first deal kind of sucked, to be honest with you, and I still made money. And that's a good thing about real estate. Even if you suck, it doesn't matter, because as long as you're not horrible, the appreciation will make up for any mistakes you make. The fact that the government inflates the economy by printing more money, which devaluates the euro dollar, which makes everything more expensive, it makes up for your mistake. Because that loan that you have, every year gets cheaper. And that's why I call it free money. So you have a loan on a piece of property. We'll say it's $100,000. And your interest rate's 4%. Inflation, government proposed inflation states like at 3%. So that means the $100,000 you borrowed, that you're paying 4% to borrow, is worth 3% less each year, because the inflation is 3%. So really, what are you paying? 1%? Your net difference is 1%. In reality, inflation is higher than 3%. Real inflation, people say, is 7 to 10%. So cost of goods, things like that, right? Simple example. I used to be able to buy a chocolate bar back when I was a kid, and I'm like only 33 now, so I'm not even that old. But you could get chocolate for like 25 to 50 cents, right? Now you buy the small chocolate bar that you used to be able to get for 25 or 50 cents for like $1.69. Okay? That's inflation, guys. So it tripled in price. So the money you're borrowing keeps going down in value. That's why I'm like, if I can get a solid asset that has an income producing and get $1 billion in loans, I'll take it. Because that $1 billion is worth less every single day. The assets that I own go up every single day, and I'm winning, right? And why you need a cash flow, so you can make sure you have enough money to pay for your stuff. Don't go and get like all high off of your success and start blowing your money. It's a very common thing to do. Avoid buying all this new stuff. You need to be making sure that you really should wait till you have like 20 units, let's say conservatively at least 10 units, before you start blowing your money and buying all this shit. Reinvest, 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 buddies. And thumbs up to you too, Eddie. All right. Tiff says, what is the best place in Tampa Bay area for multi-unit properties? There really isn't a best area. Like, finding multi-unit properties in Tampa Bay that are like 2 to 4 units are not that common. So look for them. And 2, buy them in areas where you're like, oh, these are such a great area, such a cool area. Be happy where you own, right? Don't own in an area where you're like, I don't want to go here. That's just, so really I buy in Oldsmar, I bought in Newport Richey, I bought in, since you know the area, I'm naming spots. I bought in Safety Harbor, Dunedin, Clearwater, St. Pete. I mean, I bought everywhere. Now, other thing I learned is, again, Manny Kashabin, he's a man, he buys all over the country. Other guys, they're cool, they buy all over many different states. I don't know, man. I've not been cool with that. Everything I buy, I try to buy in like a compact area now. So I have crews that will go and do a bunch of work and I can get volume pricing out of them, right? So I give them a lot of work. So when I need something, they talk to me instead of, I'm too busy. Like, all right, we're going to talk to this guy because he's been giving us a lot of business. So, and it makes things a lot easier because if I want to go, I can spend half an hour and drive and see almost all 30 of my properties. So that's how I like doing things. And I love buying stuff right next to each other, like boom, boom, boom. So I got a few spots like that. And I end up paying a lot more for the stuff next door just so I could be right next door. Because part of the reason is I buy a property that has good opportunity to be converted into a commercial property, which is huge upside potential for you, right? The money is in appreciation, not just the rent. So if you have huge upside in changing your land use, you make a lot of money that way. So even if the land is possibly commercial, it doesn't matter that much if the business that wants to buy it that cannot buy and have enough land to put anything there. So how do I fix that? Is I try to buy as many properties surrounding my units so I have enough land that one day they could be like, oh wow, this is enough land that we could bulldoze all of these buildings and put something bigger. So that's another reason I try to buy next to each other. But anywhere you want to be, that's where you should invest, Tiffany. Great question. So Sanu says, where are you from? So I live in the Tampa Bay area in Florida. I grew up in New Jersey and I was born in Syria. I am Aramaic. Desi says, hello. Hello, buddy. Taj says, we go through many teachers. Those give different ideas on selling a property. What pro tips you give for same? For selling a property, I mean, that's a very vague question, Taj. Can you elaborate a little bit more of what you want to know about selling a property? Thanks. Dave says, how do you get started? I explained how I got started earlier, but I explained it a couple of minutes ago, so I think maybe you repeated by mistake. How can you get an investor? So if you're looking for an investor, the best way to go is go find meetups for other investors, and you can actually talk to many investors at one place. They all will go and they'll have an event once a month or once every 3 months, and they'll all meet there. So you can meet a lot of investors there. Eddie King says, many blessings, bro. Thanks for that great info. Thanks, buddy. Armenian juice. Nice. Yeah, I'm Aramaic. So I have actually a couple of aunts that are Armenian. So Paper Chase says, I am 15 and plan on purchasing real estate and pursuing real estate investing. What can I do now to prepare for me later? All right. So the same thing I did when I was 15. You need to watch all of my videos, right? And you need to watch it more than one time because you might slip by you. You need to read Think and Grow Rich, right? You need to change your thinking because whatever they're teaching you in school is not meant for an investor. They're not teaching you to be an investor in school. The people that surround you usually are not investors themselves, so whatever they tell you is not going to work out in the investor world. So you need to read the book Think and Grow Rich. You need to read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You need to read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. Because as an investor, you need to know how to talk to people. And to be honest with you, most people don't know how to talk to other people. And they need just really basics, and it's going to really help you huge. Remember, Warren Buffett, obviously one of the world's greatest investors, says the best investment he's ever made was in the Dale Carnegie, the guy who wrote Think, How to Win Friends and Influence People. His best investment was $100 he spent to go to a class given by the Dale Carnegie Society, right? $100 back then is worth like $5,000 now. So invest in your education, invest in yourself. I mean, I can't believe how many people I've met that like are unwilling to spend money on investing in themselves, right? You gotta educate yourself. You gotta and not just spending money on like a course, but like unwilling to drive to a real estate meetup. Like, why are you not gonna do that? You need to go. You need to learn. You need to meet people. You're not gonna learn unless you do that. So, good luck, Jay. Another question I got is, I am from London and have been saving 50-pound notes. I saved more than 1,000 50-pound notes. 50,000 pounds, that's good. 50,000 pounds in American, right now the conversion's not that great, but normally that's like $70,000 almost. So that's a good amount of money. I just had a follower fly in from England. He buys hotels and houses over there, and he wanted to learn about the Florida market. So we took him around, showed him around, and he's doing very well over there in England. Lots of properties available for sale and for rent. So you should be able to do a lot for 50,000 pounds, like a lot. So is an easy way to save for me and a cheat. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you're able to save so much. So yeah, definitely saving is good. But remember, the cash you save is worth nothing. Cash is just a medium of exchange. You need to exchange your cash for an investment. The second I have cash saved up, I'm trying to find somewhere to put it. Something to buy. If I can't buy anything, I'm trying to find somewhere where I can upgrade my properties so I can use that money to make my properties worth more, increase the rent, and get a return on my investment. So I'm always trying to spend that cash, not on toys, but on more investing. We got 2 minutes, guys, so I'm going to try to go fast with this. What book would you recommend to read as a newbie licensed agent? Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Next question from Fuzz says, how do you find these deals? What is the thing that's getting me? That is the thing that's getting me right now. I mentioned how to find deals, and to be honest with you, everybody's having an issue with finding deals. You just got to keep going at it. Check Craigslist, check signs on the side of the road, see people that are putting up for rent signs, see if they're willing to sell, MLS, other people, everything. All right. Next question. How many properties in total do you have? Support from Italy. Right now I have about 30. To find off-market deals, what would you recommend doing? Letting your name out to all of the flippers, all those guys, and they will basically send you the off-market deals. Otherwise, you're gonna have to mail a lot and do a lot of door knocking to try to find them. What money do you use when raising property equity? I don't know that question. What you're trying to say with that question? When you make your profit after selling a property, what percentage of it do you put into buying another property? 100%. All right. Last question. All right, guys, 14 seconds left. Remember, tag your friends, have them follow the page. The more friends you have following the page, the stronger your group's going to get.